Hi everyone, I'm very happy to tell that we are done with our cognitive and the biological approach, and now we are going to start with social cultural approach of psychology, which is also very interesting. Now cognitive was all about how your mind functions, and biological all about how your bodily things actually has an influence on your mind functioning. So biology and psychology usually we think are very important in shaping up the psychology of a person, which is obviously it is there. But sociocultural is also very important when we talk about an individual psychology. It is not just your mind functioning that shapes up your psychology. It is not just your bodily things like maybe your body parameters, your neurotransmitters, the chemicals that you're releasing, or the brain structure that is there. So not only these things actually influence your mind or the psychology of a human being, it is also your culture, your society. So all these things are also very important when we talk about sociocultural approach. So in this sociocultural approach, we are going to study that how a person behaves in a given society when there are circumstances, then how a person reacts in the given circumstance. We behave very differently when we are at home, and you behave maybe like very different when you are out in a party or a school or in a public place. It is never the same. There are definitely reasons for that. Now obviously it's not that you're the same human being. You are not changing. Your personality doesn't change altogether. You are the same human being. You have the same psychology, but the same human being is so different when they are with their family, when they're sitting at home, and the same person, how they change their behavior and how their perception and everything changes when the same person is out in the social setting. So it is very important now, and it also indicates importantly that means social setting or society always has an influence on the psychology of a human being. So your culture, your religion, your neighbors, the kind of parents you have, the kind of teachers you had in your school, the kind of workplace you go to, the kind of friends that you have, every single thing in this world has an effect on you. So your perception changes if you are in a different cultures. Your perception changes when you have different family cultural background. So the way you think is highly affected by these many things. So it is very important that we talk about socio-cultural approach, and I'm going to cover all the topics here, all the supporting studies that I'm going to give it to you. And along with that, I will also be discussing the command terms and how to write socio-cultural approach. The world is becoming increasingly interconnected electronically, culturally, linguistically, and in fact in almost every imaginable way. So the process through which this happened over the past hundreds of years, it is called as globalization. Now globalization can be seen a little threatening force to our cultures, language, religion, and ways of life to some people, not to all. The radicalization of groups around the world is one of the potential reactions to globalization and perceived westernization. Now, radical groups often believe that actions such as violent attacks are the only defense they have against what they perceive as an attack on their way of life and their identity. So we do not like, basically we do not like that, our culture, our lifestyle is being polluted or is being hindered or interfered by other people of other culture, because we don't want to get mixed with that. This is my culture, this is my religion, my land, my lifestyle. So I am more comfortable, this is just an example I'm telling you, so I'm more comfortable in kind of life that I have. And because of globalization, when migrants come in, when I get exposed to different cultures and religions and all that, a person might feel threatened, or some people might be happy as well to learn new things, learn new languages, learn new cultures. So these things always have an effect on a person's psychology. And how do we react to these given situations? This particular thing we are going to study in our socio-cultural behavior. And there are several assumptions made by social psychologists that rest at the heart of the field of social psychology. These assumptions are sometimes called principles. So, it is assumed by social psychologists that people are social animals who have a deep need to foster and nurture social connection with others. It is also assumed that social and cultural groups influence behavior. A third assumption is that people have a social identity as well as a personal identity. Finally, it is assumed that the perspective and worldviews that people hold are resistant to change. So when we meet a person, we already have a schema of that particular culture of that person, that how this person is going to behave. This person is from this culture or this country. People of this so and so country are a little violent and aggressive kind, so maybe I have to be a little distant from them. Or these people from this country they are very warm and welcoming, so that is how your expectations are built. That is how what we can expect from the other culture and other people, because we have a schema. We know that these people are from this certain place and how they are going to behave, so accordingly our reaction, our behavior towards them also changes. People are shaped by their social environment. They then in turn help shape that social environment. Social psychology is the scientific examination of this bidirectional relationship. In other words, it is the study of the influence of human behaviors, beliefs, cognitions, and attitudes on social groups, and of the influence of the group on its members. I hope you understood that why studying social psychology is important and how society and our cultures can actually affect the psychology of a person. And yes, definitely it is going to be very, very interesting. So please stick with me and subscribe to my channel and learn all the concepts, get all the supporting studies and the counter arguments as well for social psychological approach for IB psychology students. And if you liked my video, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe.